live. Hey, how's everybody doing? Welcome back to the Sacred Success Business Breakthrough. I've been reading some of your comments, and I want to shout out to Mel, who wrote that she or he, I'm not sure, anyway, Mel can be anything, whatever you were going through with your vision about the spirit of your business and the details, they shifted and they developed over the day yesterday. And that is what happens. If you just let it percolate in that kind of side part of your psyche, it'll start morphing and you'll start getting new epiphanies and things. Once it's done, once you open that door, it's really fascinating what can happen. Really, really fascinating. And yeah, I'd love to see. And by the way, too, for those of you who are new today, when I look down here, I'm looking at your chat. I'm looking at the chat. When I look up here, I'm obviously looking at you. And then when I bring people up, I see you over there. So I'll just keep reminding you that why I may not be looking directly at you sometimes. Anyway, I'm so excited to read your comments. And yes, isn't it wild how many people here from all over the world? It's amazing. And I'm really glad to hear that many of you have done the meditation more than once yesterday. You are going to get these the recordings, I think, till midnight on Saturday. So take advantage of this. Listen back to the meditation, do the exercise again and see what changes. And then make your notes, because they're shapeshifters. They may show up in a different way. Yeah, it's pretty wild. But for those of you who are new, I'm obviously Colette Baron-Reid. I know a bunch of you brought your friends, and I know a few people in here are absolutely spanking new and brand spanking new. You know, some of those old phrases, like, why do we use them? I never even thought, what does that even mean? But anyway, I have had the privilege of working one-on-one with highly successful entrepreneurs, authors, and creatives over the years, and have developed this concept of spirit of your business. And, and when I worked one-on-one, it was pretty wild and it worked like unbelievably. And I'm not to say that you don't do the practical stuff too, but this is a metaphysical class. And I will tell you that I am so excited to share with you some of the wildest and most unconventional business secrets that we've explored and implemented. And by the way, these techniques that I'm sharing with you are not just a one-time thing. And it's how I design the work that I do. Anyway, these things are designed to be done on repeat. The more you practice them, the more insights will come through, and they will show up in the most surprising and creative ways. It's not something you just do one and done in the back of your head. You go, okay, I just saw my spirit of my business and they look like this. And this was, this is what I saw in the boardroom or whatever. When you do it again, you get more and more insight, like the spirit of the business could morph into a different form, and all of it means something. So when you do the meditations on repeat, it's an extraordinary thing. And when I worked one-on-one with clients and also doing my Spirit of Your Business intensives here, actually at my house, I've taken a few people this year. I only take like 2 to 3 people a year. Like, it's extraordinary. Like, we just keep doing it. You just keep doing it and see what else comes. And it's in you. And that's when you really start to realize, like, wow, this is in me. I have the blueprint for my success. It's there. I have to look beyond my limitations. Anyway, videos are only available for a short time. Remember, I said Saturday night. So please take advantage of them while you can, because as I said, they're going away. This is a free program and we don't leave it up forever. Now, I know so many of you are here for the 3rd or 4th time. I'm super pumped. I love that you are. It's like, and I'm so excited for you because, as I said, I create my content always so it can be revisited. And the more you come back, the more you revisit, the more it takes root in you and the easier it gets. So if today is your very first day joining me, no problem. You can still go back and watch the replay from day 1. But you have to know too that each day of the workshop builds off the day before. So today I'm going to be showing you how to find the hidden gems of your business that you can't just think your way into, but you need to experience. So I'm sitting on a kid's booster seat because I'm like super long legs and a short body. So it's not that comfortable. Anyhow, we're going to take you out of your left brain, logical mind, and we're going to move you to the right brain, where intuition, creativity, and imagination meet. And then, we're going to realize that the two can actually work together. We typically go to the thinking mind. That's not our friend right now. So today we are going to invite you to take the spirit of your business out to dinner. What? Why do we do this? Because relationships need nourishment. Remember I said everything is a metaphor. And when you sit down to dinner with somebody, you're taking the time to listen, to be present, and to appreciate that relationship. And it's exactly the same when it comes to your business, your book, or your project. Now, some of you have never done anything like this before. Just keep an open mind and just let yourself play with it, okay? If you're new to this, I want you to get excited because it's going to be a blast. And just keep that open mind open and just let your imagination go loose. Don't try to control it. Whatever shows up that, like, I was freaked out when I did mine the first time. I was like, what is that? When I was developing it, because I was doing it with other people and I'm like, well, I should do this for me. And it was like, okay, this is like super weird. And I don't think it's right. And it was perfect. And right. So, because I couldn't have made that up, nor would I have wanted to. So I want to reiterate this very important point we discussed yesterday. Right? Let's go back to that, is that you were given the gift of inspiration, right? All of you who've gone into business or thinking about a business or writing a book would agree with me. You wouldn't be doing this. You were called to something. You were called to something. Like, wow, I'm inspired. You said, yes, I'm going to do it. Thank you. Oh, this is awesome. And in the inspiration, just so y'all know, the blueprint for success and the blueprint for your self-actualization is all built into that. And why do I say this? Because all entrepreneurs, all writers, all creatives, we are all going to have a personal growth experience when we pursue these inspirations, because that is part of the deal. You have to know you are going to evolve as a person. You will be challenged to change for the better, but that will be up to you. So a lot of the source of your own resistance and second guessing yourself, etc., is going to come up for you, not because the business exists and not because the spirit of your business pushed you there, but because it's part of your own unfolding. And that's the work that happens alongside of getting the business off the ground. So instead of asking questions after your inspiration took root, I want you to go back to when you were inspired. Okay. You may not even know who to ask, right? So like, oh, I got inspiration. And then we might all have said, great, I got it from here, I'm good. And instead of utilizing a metaphysical approach to, or spiritual approach to what's my next right action, we intellectualize it. What do I think my next right action should be? How am I going to strategize this? Who did that already? Let me see what they're doing. Let me compare myself. And all of a sudden, you're so limited and you're so contracted because there's no room for the unknown. And everybody has done this. I have done this too, right? So we all do this. And it's because we're programmed to do this. We're conditioned, and we have for hundreds of years, that we favor the intellect over intuition. We separate intellectual content, science, and spirit, right? It's now we're trying to bridge them together, but we have to actually do something we haven't done before, right? So typically, many of us haven't asked source. You ask your head, right? You agree with me? We've all trained to be this way. Right, there you go. It's true, right? So so I know some of you call it the 3D mind, or just like call it in the intellect, right? I'm going to figure it out. And figuring it out and strategy and all those intellectual exercises are important, but they go in tandem, hand in hand with the spiritual. And that's when you're really going to see your success. You're going to spend way less time freaking out and worrying, and more time practicing patience and resting in the in-betweens. And you will give up the hustle. You can't help yourself. So, when you figure that we've all been trained to think, strategize, and compare, we always check out other people's businesses. We look for other people's blueprints. Go on Instagram, what are they doing? Like, everything is like all that, whatever, I'm not even going to talk about that. But anyway, instead of realizing you have your own blueprint, and you need to unfurl it, but you can't do it through your intellect alone. Your intellect is going to go only tell you what you already know and what you've seen. But what you're doing is creating something new. And you're accessing something brand new. It's from the unknown. You don't know it yet. So I want you to imagine that very same voice that gave you that inspiration assigned your business a spirit, or your book. Like, I know for a fact my oracle cards and my books, they have a presiding spirit. And that's where I got this idea. It was every time I did an oracle card deck, it was like, whoa, this thing's talking to me, and it's very specific, and it's not like the other ones, and it's asking me to do this instead of that. And it's like, and I was like, wow, this thing is alive. And I'll tell you, your book's alive, like everything's alive. Why not the business, right? Like the whole business. So the minute you said yes, I want you to just allow your imagination to play with this. You say yes, you're inspired, you say yes, because we get to say no too, right? A spirit gets assigned. It's like you incarnated on earth, and your soul inhabits and stewards you through your experiences for your entire life, which I believe is absolutely 1,000% true. So in a similar way, you give birth to the business, and the business has a soul. Now, I know this is an animistic view of the world. So even if you don't believe in this, I want you to play with me and just agree with me for these next, couple days that that's what we're going to do. What if this was true? What if it was true? The spirit of your business is actually part of that greater consciousness, but it's specifically assigned to your business because it is your business. You and it are a thing, okay? Like, it's not the same one anybody else is going to get because it's yours and it's part of your evolution. Like I said yesterday, if you're new today, I mentioned that entrepreneurs, creatives, writers, we typically have the experience of personal growth, etc., because our business or our creations are actually really a part of us, right? So it's different than we're working on something. We are the thing. Right? So that's why the spirit of your business, your book, your creative project is important to connect with, because you're not doing it by yourself. The spirit of your business is the heartbeat of your business, the soul, the why, and it acts as an intermediary between you and the divine. Think about that, right? So it's kind of like you got your own guardian angel for the business assigned. Sometimes it's easier for people to imagine that. But there is a living, breathing thing in here, and it'll tell you what it is if you're willing to listen to it. You can communicate with it and discover things through the process I'm going to share with you, because you don't have to do your business alone, because let's face it, trying to do everything on your own can be exhausting and overwhelming, and we make way more mistakes. So put in the chat and let me know if you identify with this so far. I'm going to look right down here. Great. Awesome. I always like to see if somebody doesn't. So far, everybody's agreeing. Good, because this is where we are now, right? Like, that's why I was giving you pieces of it. Yesterday, you learned the first thing, and everybody in here either had an experience during the call, or if you did the meditation on your own after, you will have had an experience. And so and you'll notice things actually start moving in your business the minute you connect to the spirit of your business. It's actually kind of weird how synchronicities happen, and you can't make this up. You're looking like, well, there's this really strange coincidence by me starting to do this with Colette and like the stuff that's starting in my business, and I didn't even do anything, okay? So you don't have to put all the effort in all by yourself. And by the way, that's even including hiring and finding the people to help you. You are conditioned to believe that, and so was I. Okay, so when we open ourselves up to the co-creative power of the universe, amazing things can happen. Amazing things. And by the way, the byproduct of all of this is that you start to get into alignment with so many synchronicities, you won't even know how this is happening, right? I know a few of you in here, right? It's like, I try to do my book structurally in my OCD way, right? Right? Bilboa called me after yesterday's session. That is so cool, right? Everything is happening. You let your inner child go for it. I love this. So what I'm showing you how to do is literally step into a different dimension of consciousness and opportunity. And it's just the way it works. And you're going to be awestruck, like I have been. And every time that I struggle, it's because I fall into that spiritual narcolepsy, which is like, I forget right? All of us are geared for that, by the way. The idea is that you don't stay there long. I won't stay longer than maybe 20 minutes. And then I'm like, wait a sec. I'm like, who's thinking this? This is like totally wrong, right? So today I want to take you deeper into this area, and I'm going to show you a much better way, a more magical way to really understand your business and its needs, right? Your business needs something from you. And if you're not listening to your business and you're forcing it to do what you think it should be, you won't see the kind of success that's meant for you. You're going to take a lot of detours. So no more wasting your time and effort on things that barely move the needle, right? We are here to talk about business, right? We are here to talk about your success, right? This is why we're here. And I know you started your business or wrote your book or started a project with passion and purpose, not to end up feeling stuck or uninspired or scared or trapped in fear and comparison. Nobody signs up for that, but that's where we can end up if we aren't taking advantage of the spiritual aspect or that consciousness aspect of our business that actually exists. Now, if we get buffeted by outer conditions that are always in flux too, that you see how powerless you are to change things, if you focus on that, because by the way, outer conditions are always going to be in flux. This is a thing that I tell everybody all the time, and I can't say it enough. We cannot wait for the outer world to behave. We can't, to like tick off all the boxes, like what makes us safe, what makes us okay, there are tons of things that override lots of other things. It's a matter of trying to understand, and given that there's been hurricanes recently and tornadoes and things like that, especially in the States and also in Europe, imagining that you're that eye in the hurricane where you see all the stuff surrounding you, but you're still on point and focused on that quiet moment to do what you're here to do too, to add your service and your gifts to the world. So that's why it's time to reignite that spark and fall back in love with what you got into working for yourself in the first place. So there's likely one of two reasons that you signed up for this workshop and you're here. Now, it's either you're ready to jumpstart your business and make your dreams a reality, or you've been hustling your butt off for what feels like ages, or you're writing a book and you've hit a wall. Or like, I love that somebody says something about doing, trying to force their book in their OCD way. You don't want to be on a hamster wheel, right? You don't want to try to get ahead by treading the same old ground over and over and over again, right? It doesn't work. It just doesn't work, and it's super frustrating. And it's there, but it's just not there. The thing that you're meant to experience, and that's that. Where is it? I know there's more for me, but where is it? Anybody relate to that? Yeah, right? It's so true. It's and like I said, I can too. I have been there myself, but I want to let you know there is another way. And like I said before, it just takes an open mind and a willingness to allow your imagination to run a little wild and to trust. Remember too, I want you to imagine your partner is the spirit of your business. Like you have a business partner, even if you're a solo, right? You develop a more metaphysical approach to your offerings. You'll stop worrying about survival and scarcity so much and start focusing on all the wonderful experiences coming your way as you serve others, and things organically start to happen. And the thing is, you will see synchronicities happening all around you that you didn't make happen. Right? You're going to go, wow, I just got a phone call from this. I had no idea how a client just called and an opportunity just showed up. Like honest to God, like when I did my first one, I could never have planned I had no even ambition for all the things that happened after, but it was like, hold on to your hat. You just open this up and bam, 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 bam. And it's worked for every one of my clients too. But it does take work. The work that we have to do is to keep staying present as we can, the best that we can every day, and not stay in spiritual narcolepsy and falling asleep at the wheel too long. Okay? Because it'll happen. It's just going to happen to some of us at some point. Okay. Now, yesterday you got to meet the spirit of your business, but now let's build a deeper connection. Or rekindle that connection that you may already have had but kind of lost. We want you to strengthen your bond, and you need to start with one simple thing. And what's that? Listening. So we're going to take the spirit of your business out to dinner. I'm going to just ask you to use your imagination and imagine what you normally do when you go out to dinner with somebody you just met. You ask questions to get to know each other, right? They already know you. So I'm going to lead you through a guided vision journey. You're going to get to go out to dinner. And if you didn't go through the exercise of meeting the spirit of your business in our first training, just go do that first. We're not going on a blind date with our business today. So if you are new today, I want you to kind of click off and go and do that exercise first, okay? Because right, again, no blind dating. So just be sure you did that exercise first. But if you're like me, I don't listen to rules either. So you're probably going to do it anyway, but make sure you do it. Now, remember, on the event dashboard, you can download the PDF worksheet. So you can follow along with the exercise. But if you didn't download it yet, just use some paper to take notes and write down your reflections. I always have scribble paper. Now, at the end of the exercise, too, I'm going to guide you through picking some oracle cards. And don't worry if you've never used an oracle card before. I'm going to guide you through the process step by step, making it super easy and fun for everybody. It's just another intuitive way to tap into the messages from the spirit of your business and have a conversation with them. So if you have one of my oracle decks, you're welcome to grab it and use that instead, or you can always pick cards for free from my Wisdom of the Oracle deck online. You can open up another, what do you call it? Another screen, another tab? What's it called, Mark? Another tab? Tab. Thank you. And then you can go to ColetteBaron-Reid.com/pick so you can pick your cards, okay? All right, ready? Remember, even though I like to call these guided meditations vision journeys, actually, if you can put the music on, Mark. Yeah, just so they can get used to it while I'm talking. Okay. Even if you've never seen anything from a guided vision journey or meditation, I just want you to try this. Let whatever happens, happens. You may know things. You may just know it was this without seeing it. It's like you'll feel feelings. You'll like just have a story in your head that'll come up. So don't force anything. Just let whatever comes to come. Once it starts, then for the rest of the day, it starts making a little more things start to come in. Now, don't argue in your head about why this should be different or get caught in any judgment, right? Just allow what comes. There might be a part of you that's going to refuse what you're going to see. That's okay. This is a tried and true practice, and it's called active imagination. It comes from Carl Jung, and it works. So let's just do it. Take a deep breath in and exhale slowly. Just allow yourself to relax. Let go any tension in your body. You're going to go back to the boardroom you visited yesterday. The spirit of your business is there waiting for you. Just notice what may have changed, what's the same. But they're very excited to talk to you. When they show up in front of you, just put your hand on your heart and you will magically arrive at a place where you're meant to have a meal together. Pay attention. Where are you? What does the environment look like? Just allow your imagination to give you ideas about what it is or what it could be. Those of you who don't see a good question to ask, if I was in a restaurant with the spirit of my business, what would it be? And then the first thing that comes to mind is correct. What do you notice about the surroundings? What's the lighting like? Are there other people there? Is it busy or is it quiet? What colors do you notice? What's the overall feeling you get from the place? Look at the food. How's the food delivered to you? What's the quality like? Is this a fancy place? A magical place? A hole-in-the-wall burger joint? A taco truck with picnic benches? Whatever details that come to you, especially the ones that stick out, it might be a little weird. Notice that. You're now at the table, and the spirit of your business sits in front of you. Remember that the spirit of your business already knows you and already knows what you want. It wants to share the essence of the blueprint with you, and it might have even better ideas about how this partnership is supposed to work and what it will manifest. I just want you to listen to what they're saying or they're imparting to you. What does the spirit of your business say about themselves? What does it say about your partnership? How does your business interface with your soul's destiny? How does it help your soul's destiny? What could you do better in the partnership? Ask them how they're going to help you. They'll tell you. You may start to get a sense of what their personality is like, and it might be different than what you thought it was supposed to be. Can you surrender your need for control? Allow your curiosity to let it surprise you. You can ask questions like, who sent you? How old are you? Why will this be a success? How will you help me overcome challenges and obstacles? You'll come back to revisit these questions. Now you've finished your meal and the spirit of your business orders you a dessert that represents the sweetness of your success. What is it that comes? Is there anything hidden inside the dessert? What is it? What are your feelings about working with the spirit of this business now? You still want to do it? As you slowly come out of the meditation, we're going to take 5 minutes to write as much as you can. So staying in a meditative state, return to the boardroom with the spirit of your business, because you're going to have a meeting. And this is going to be interesting. I want you to think about this. Are you ready to introduce the spirit of your business to your friends, family, people that are important to you? Are you ready to make the partnership public, or do you want to hide it and keep it a secret? Do you feel safe? What would make you feel safe? What, if anything, are you afraid of? How committed are you to this? Do you feel inspired by them? Do you trust them? Do you want to? Does it feel like a good partnership, or is it too much? Because whatever your answer is, it's okay. Let it be okay. Your business, it's time to leave, leaves you 2 oracle cards face down on the table, in the boardroom. And the message in the cards is a reminder of the unique role that you play in the success of your business. And while the spirit of your business already has the blueprint for your success, they are calling on you to take action and do your part. So what steps do you need to take to prepare yourself for the abundance waiting for you? So I want you to take a deep breath. Open yourself up to receive this divine guidance. And once you're ready to receive your message, open your eyes. We're going to open up the chat now. Where is the chat? There it is. Oh, I love this. So just feel the sense of peace and clarity and trust in the partnership, and know the universe is conspiring in your favor. So I want you to pick 2 cards, okay? So the next step is you want to pick 2 oracle cards. They should be mine. I picked 2 cards for everybody. You want to go to ColetteBaron-Reid.com/pick to select 2 cards. If you're doing it online, you can take a photograph with your phone, read them a little later. Just imagine the spirit of your business is the one picking the cards on your behalf. You're attracted to them. You're going to want to read the messages and the guidebook and write down the key messages and any specific words or phrases. You may not, the whole thing may not make sense, maybe only one sentence, but pay attention to that. Trust your intuition and how you interpret the cards. Now, I'm going to ask for some volunteers to come on. Now, I know some of you might be new to oracle cards, so I'm going to give you an example of how to do this. The 2 cards I got were not for you, and why? And these cards know me so well. If you've never pulled not for you, this is what we call in oracle school the oh shit card. But it's the card that I love for this, because I've gotten this quite often to remind me what I need to say no to. So this is for all of us, right? So we need to know what to say no to. Not saying that the business isn't for me, but how can I be more discerning and set better boundaries? Maybe there are certain things that I planned on doing, but now maybe I need to let go of. So I want you guys to think about that too, right? I'll give you an example. I was getting exhausted with my podcast and everybody loved it, but I needed to put it on hiatus. It wasn't that it wasn't for me forever, but I needed to make space. So when you get the not for you card, it's about making space for something else and being discerning about what you say no to. And for all of you, you can ask yourself, where have I said yes to something that's draining my energy or distracting me for what I really want to be doing and not allowing me the space to think and be creative? The second card I got is why, and that's really about knowing our why. Why am I doing this? Is there ego attachment to this? It's okay. It's just for us to look without judgment. I told you a story yesterday about the two careers I was working on simultaneously. The metaphysical path had no ego connection at all. I didn't even want to do it. It didn't have any hidden agendas other than the fact that I was nervous that people would think I was too weird, right? If I were to look back at my why and put it on my musical career, I had a lot of emotional and psychological baggage around why I wanted that to be successful. It was what I was making it mean, and I was in denial about that. So I'm going to ask you to ponder that too. The real why for me of being here is that I really, really, really wanted to help people. I knew I could, right? That was the real why. And I thought it was going to be music. But anyway, if you see yourself successful, what do you make that mean? Is there any hidden agenda that's a burden? And this is just stuff I want you to think about. Now, let's get some volunteers up. And we'll select a couple of you to come on and share what you got and what you think it means, okay? Let's get some people. I won't be able to see the chat while I'm doing this because I'm going to be looking at whoever's there. Mark, how do I see the people?
Button 2.
Button 2, okay. Button 2, there you are. Excellent. Hi.
Hey,
Hi, sweetheart. What's your name?
Donna.
Donna, how's this been for you so far?
It's been good. This is the second time I've done it. So
Great. So what happened when you took your spirit of your business out to dinner? Was there any new epiphanies?
it was nice. Yeah. I mean, it was really different from last time. Last time we was in a picnic in a park. This time it was a very nice restaurant.
Good. More success.
White wine, baked fish, little potatoes. It was really cool. But yeah, did have a couple messages for me. I have written a book and it's being edited right now.
Okay.
But he told me to get to writing. There's more apparently. So they told me at least 3 books.
Okay.
As a minimum. So I'm working on the second one. I just started the interlude, but he told me to add in the 5th dimension.
All right.
Because I've been studying the 5th dimension lately.
All right. So then whatever you learn from that, then you'd integrate that in. So that's very specific to you. Now, when you pulled your 2 cards, what did you get?
I pulled Shaman's Dream first because that's the one I always have handy.
That's okay.
I love that deck. Oh my God.
Thank you.
When I do it for my classes, it's always spot.
It's one of my favorites too, of all the ones I've done.
The first one I got was Dances on One Foot.
Uh-huh.
And the second one was Many Masks.
Okay. So what do you feel it meant to you?
Well, to me, it's like a balancing act because I'm disabled and retired.
Right.
So if I get this going, I can lose all my benefits.
Right. Okay. So,
and if it doesn't take off and give me an income, then I'm kind of screwed. So that's my balancing act right now.
So what about the second card was which? So balancing act, and the second card was
Many Masks.
Many Masks.
Authentic self.
Right. So you're actually seeing all the different masks that you wear. One where you said, I have disability payments, etc. And if I start making money, I won't have that. But then you have a desire to write and, and to do those things and seeing that as potentially financially successful. So these are things that are not in your control, right?
Right.
These are not in your control. That's what you say.
I mean, I even made an Oracle deck. And everybody around me, I mean, I've sold several of them. I hand make everything.
Love it.
I don't have a publisher.
There you go. And does it make you happy?
Yeah, I do like doing it. I mean, I make handmade journals and stuff like that all the time.
Love it. See, look at you. So your next step would be to make sure there's a balance also in recognizing what you can do and what is spirit's to do. Spirit of your business, right? So you can't take everything on yourself, and worrying about what can happen is not going to help you, right?
I'm a Capricorn. Okay, that's what I do. I mean, it's just.
I get it. Thank you for
really
sharing.
hard.
Well, Nobody said anything is going to be easy. There is nothing that we really want to see manifest that doesn't require us to have courage, be brave, bump up against some resistance and obstacles. It's all part of it. Life is not
I,
easy, effortless all the time. It's not
I
meant
can,
to be.
I can do that. It's the letting go of the control part.
Well, that's something you're just going to have to practice. Anyway, I'm going to bring somebody else. Yeah, let's get somebody else. And even if people doing it the link, Donna mentioned she used the shaman's dream. Let's get the next person. That was Donna. And now we're going to have, who's this next person? Hello. I can't hear you.
Hi,
Oh,
Angela.
hi. What's your name?
Angela.
Angela. Nice to meet you,
Yeah,
Angela.
me too.
All right. So let's talk about the experience that you had today. What was the difference between today and yesterday? Did you notice anything change throughout the day yesterday since you actually made the connection, right? Like, let's just kind of see how it went.
Yes, this has been just the synchronicities have been amazing. I've been having a calling to just surrender
Right?
for weeks now. And the first exercise yesterday was really beautiful because I got to see basically like a higher version of myself, like the highest
Ooh, love
timeline
it.
version. But I couldn't see her. She was like so bright that it was like almost like I couldn't like I could see the light and it felt warm and inviting and like exciting to be around, but it was
Mhm.
almost so bright that I just like couldn't like pull her
Right.
out and see what she looked like. But I got to see her
The
for
essence.
this exercise. Yeah, so I saw the essence.
Yeah.
And so that was incredible. That was great.
It's the essence that's more important than the form, by the way. So,
Mm,
right? It's what that
hmm.
means is more important than the form of what you see,
Right.
right? So what
Yeah.
happened today?
So today we had dinner at a really fancy restaurant and I could see her.
Right?
And she looks like me, but she looks different.
Right?
She feels different, but there was like a recognition between us. Like I could
Mm-hmm.
tell, like there's just a very inviting
Yep.
energy. And just like she reminded me that I am you. I'm
Right.
just further along and
Right.
you
Ooh.
we can work together energetically to get you to move forward to the next levels.
What surprised you today?
How easy it was,
Mm-hmm.
like I've been trying to be like, okay, so universe, show me a sign, and like trying to find it everywhere. And you
And
really
here
have
it
to
came.
be very specific. And
All
it's
right.
not, it's not as challenging. It's not as like,
Mm,
esoteric or out there where you have to like have a whole ritual to like
nope.
have these downloads or anything. So it's just really cool to see how
Easy.
accessible and
Yes.
easy it is to connect with the business of our spirit,
The spirit.
the
Yeah.
spirit
And
of our business.
right. And you know what the other cool thing is too is that, yes, the hard work happens when we go through the personal growth and we're in that stage of becoming the person that can have the life we say we want, right? The becoming piece, becoming her
Yeah.
means that you might have to let go of certain fears and limitations and ideas about yourself and conditioning and things like that,
Yeah.
which I always say is the efforting part. But the easy
Yeah.
part is this part is like,
Yeah.
wow, right? The signs are there, the synchronicities happen. I just have to show up, right?
Uh-huh.
And then do the work because otherwise we'll be armchair astronauts and nothing will happen.
Exactly. I'm like, can you like channel some of that masculine energy to get some things done? Because I've been like in the receiving.
But that's
And like
good though.
yeah, but I think it's you're definitely to what you were saying. It's been a really incredibly amazing. I've been doing so much for years, like
Yeah.
on my spiritual journey for years, and I finally feel like okay, like a lot of these things that I've been working on, limiting beliefs, like connecting with
Yep.
spirit and source, all those things, they come second nature. They're becoming more second nature.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I think it's time to move into actually being. And that's what she told me. She was like, you just have to be me.
Right. Oh my God, you're already in my course. I love it. I love it. You're right. And then how do we become that? And what's the
Mhm.
gap between who I am today and that? So it's something to chew on. What about your
Yeah.
cards? Did they
Oh,
make sense?
yes.
Yeah.
So the first card was the time to go.
Oh, perfect.
And so I was like, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Definitely time for me to let go of the working of like, I have to sit down and figure out how to do this and,
Yeah.
plan it all ahead of time. And because it'll work for a little bit, but then it doesn't. On all things that I've done where it's like spirit led, I'm just like, oh yeah, this sounds like fun. That's what blows up. And it's just like being able to allow myself to do that and have the trust in that, I think has been the harder part. Because I didn't know how to hold it then. I didn't know how to hold that frequency then.
Yeah. Yeah. You could do this. I love it. Thank you for sharing. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, let's get somebody else. Get somebody else up here. And by the way, I don't pick the people again. I just want, because I know in the chat, people saying, oh, can you pick me? Can you pick me? I have a team that picks people down there, and there's like 15,000 people. So the people who are meant to be on screen. I hear you and I love you all. So, okay. So hi there. What's your name?
Christy.
Hi, Christy. How you doing?
Good.
Excellent. But tell me the story. Tell me your story. What's happened from yesterday to today?
So yesterday, to today, I had actually, when you talk about the power of just things manifesting while you're not necessarily doing the hustle,
Right.
2 clients set appointments. So, so added to my work I do, but even in my sessions, like I work as a psychotherapist doing EMDR and I use
Oh,
Reiki while I
that
do
changed my
EMDR.
life. Mm-hmm.
But I use Reiki and like that. And one of the things with my thing yesterday is I actually had a very strong connection before I even got to meet the spirit of my business. It was like I was sitting at the Last Supper
Oh,
table
wow. Yeah, yeah.
and I was like having this direct eye contact with Jesus. It was a very like, I
Yeah.
got your attention right now.
Yep, that's the miracle maker right there.
Right.
Go
We
big or
got
go
your
home.
attention. But then the spirit of my business came in and was wrapping, like, a dragon that wrapped its energy around every chair in the boardroom.
Wow.
And then sat by me and like, I don't know if you know Milan, the little dragon
Oh,
guy
yeah.
that's in there, right? That was what it looked like. It was
I
just very
love
cheer,
that.
like comedic, happy, like go lucky. But today, we met in the forest for kind
Okay.
of like with some animals. The rabbit stuck out the most, and I think that was
Yeah.
one of the things that came out is that fear. Like
Well,
sometimes
rabbits,
for me, it's that fear.
okay, so I want to talk about the rabbit, the spirit of the rabbit, because rabbit is about overcoming fear.
Yeah,
And
yes.
and
That's a twofold of it.
it's also about proliferation. You're prolific, that it's an abundance symbol. It's a symbol of fertility, right?
Ah,
So yeah. So there's more coming when the
twofold.
rabbit shows up. Not to be
Yes, which that
afraid.
makes sense with the cards, because the card that came in, like one was the gratitude is
Is
dreaming
dreaming.
in
Yeah.
reverse. So like
Okay.
how I was getting in my own way of like pity party kind of stuff. And like there's been a
Yeah.
lot of changes that have happened in the last 3 years that like I know I've been in a spot that's like, oh, but it's just been so hard. Why has it been so hard?
I know. We'll put up your hands if you know what she's talking about. Yes.
Yeah. And then like the
Yeah.
switch of it was this ripe and juicy
Oh, yeah,
on the
readiness. You're
other
ready.
side. And so it like that makes sense that there's that spirit of gratitude and that there is like so much abundance just right at the
You know, there's a tendency on a collective level when a lot of difficult things are happening around the world. Those of us who are privileged to live in a society where there's relative peace, because we are, and when I say that, that's the right use of that word privilege. It's not a,
right.
pejorative. It's like, yeah, we have peace. So then there's this little bit of guilt. It's like, well, should I be so successful? Why should I be focused on this? Like, everybody's suffering. Like, I remember my mom saying, you have to eat everything on your plate because there are people starving in other countries. Like, that was drilled into us. There are starving. It's just like,
Mhm.
so there's that sense of like, can I have the abundance that's here? And it's one of the reasons why yesterday I brought up compassionate prosperity, which is you will help more people, right? When your business is successful and you're not worried so much about hustling and whatever, you have more resources to share with others. Even if you start out with no resources whatsoever and you get resourceful, which is really the magic. It's not about what you have, it's what you access to get to where you are. So I think that you're on camera today for a lot of us.
Yeah, and so the other thing that like my dessert was a cheesecake, and I think it does like lend itself to that sweetness and that richness and the fullness. And one of the things that stuck out with my cards is like saying you've done your work, like this, you've done like all these things, like
Yeah.
one of the things in my session I was owning with my client that I work with is I'm like, I know I'm like that like that energy of that dragon
Yeah.
that comes around and clears the stuff out with people. I
Yep.
know it's there. I know, like I can feel it. And one of the other things that came in with the dragon today is like I've been bobbing, like when I start connecting, my head starts going and
Right.
I feel it. And I'm like, and it told me to, I'm like, that's me there. I was like, wow, that makes sense.
Right. Yeah, that's very cool. Okay, we're gonna get one more person up, and Mark, you're gonna. Oh no, I don't know. I know how to do it. I just pressed door number 1, right? I have these little buttons here. Okay, let's have somebody else. I love it. Oh, and I love Teresa got a diamond engagement ring in your ice cream dessert, right? Isn't that cool? It's a commitment. Oh, hello. Hi.
Oh, there we go. You can
How
hear me
you
now?
doing? I can.
Yeah,
What's your
good.
name?
I'm Serena.
Hi, Serena. Nice to meet you.
Nice to
How
meet
was your experience, and did anything change or morph from yesterday to today? And did you, like, for a lot of people, when you know that you've done this once, and all of a sudden the rest of the day, it's like in the back of your head, it's more things come up.
Yeah.
So, did that happen to you?
Yeah, it was always stuck in the back of my head because I've had a busy day yesterday, so I couldn't go into a lot of the symbolism and looking it up because there was
Right.
some things where I'm like, actually, when you start thinking about it, then all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, this is a common theme. I should probably look into it.
Exactly.
But for example, it was really weird. So I've done this with you 3 times
Oh,
now.
cool.
And this yesterday, the boardroom was actually a classroom. But the
Oh.
thing that I realized was like, this is actually not normal, is that everything like the desks, the counters, and like the teacher's desk were all wood, which I'm like, I mean, kind of, but it was kind of one of those things that pinged for me. But what was really interesting is when the spirit of my business came in, um, it was a young male teacher. So it was kind of like, I'm 32, so it's like he's around my age, but at the time it felt like I was a teenager looking at a young teacher.
Mhm.
Like that energy kind of
Looking up to
shifted.
the teacher.
Yeah, but still
And
young enough to, I think, was the comfortability, I think, was the important thing. Like
yeah,
there wasn't so much of that superiority gap type deal.
yeah.
So but as I was thinking about it all yesterday, I'm like, it's the vision kind of started to get clear, and I'm like, I think that's my animus. And sure enough,
Mhm.
today when we met up, he was a lot more clear to see. And
Right.
it was perfect, honestly, because um I was introduced to him just naturally through my dreams when I was like 17 or something like that. And he was the masculine figure that I always did look up to.
Mhm.
There was always that element in the energy there. And we
That's
ended up
cool.
so the classroom was a new thing, but for the 3 times that I've done it, we ended up at the exact same restaurant that I've always been at, which is this cozy little cafe, and we're always seated right beside the fire. Nice
Yeah.
brick fireplace. We were eating spaghetti, which I feel like we do every time, but today for some reason I'm like, but I don't want spaghetti. But
There you
so he gave
go.
me garlic bread to make it up to me.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to mention a couple of things. So I'd
Yes.
like you to look up the meaning of the wood element, right?
Mm-hmm.
So because wood was predominant. Now wood is supple, it's flexible, it grows, it's natural. So you want to look it up and see how it applies to you. And your cards were what?
And my cards, by the way, I love that you got Baby Woto because I take it everywhere with me. I
I
got
know,
here
isn't it
and
great?
I got Here and Now and Clean It Up, which is like the theme of my life. I always get this card.
Right. And so you know that that working with the spirit of your business requires your presence, your present moment awareness. And I always look at that too as a reminder for everybody in the group that we have to live one day at a time. It's in 24 hours a day. You can strategize and plan, but we don't know from one day to the next. When we wake up, it's a brand new day, right? So allowing spirit to lead us, and then the rest of it follows, our intellect, our plans, etc. But spirit's got to go first, right? So knowing that, and that you're no longer like looking, like seeing, like you said, the disparity. I love that you brought that up, that you're not giving your power away, you're seeing it more as a partnership. Because when we see people above us or beings as above us and more powerful or whatever, there's a tendency to give away our own agency, right? It's like, oh, you do it. Oh, yeah, you're the magical one. You're going to do it. But no, it's a partnership. They'll show you that, remember, the way to take the one step towards the gods, and then they take 10 steps towards us, right?
I
Very
love that you said that because I didn't even think of it that way with the power dynamic. But I also love the Here and Now card because the dream that I have that I feel called to do is, and I'm going to censor myself, but it's what I call the big F off dream, where
Don't
it's
worry,
like,
you don't have to.
it's
I
so big so that Here and Now is like calm down, because every time I look at it I kind of want to throw up because I'm like, how is this even possible? So it's like,
I
just do
know.
what you need to do right now,
Right
one step.
now, and the things that you wonder how, and I'm going to tell you something about that big F off dream, because I will tell you this, that even when you get there, it's just going to be another day. It's not as big as you think. It's the biggest disappointment for everybody. Like, it's boring. It's like, we've worked, oh, it's just another day. Here's this next thing I've done. Right? It's like, there really isn't a giant thing. Like, yes, we can celebrate our wins, but then we got to get up and brush our teeth.
Yeah.
Right? It's just like, and make breakfast. And if you got kids, you got to change their diapers, right? And in my case, I have little dogs, I have to pick up their poop. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I think a lot of people don't go for their dreams because they think it's so huge, right? That, oh, wow, this is bigger than oh my God, how could I ever do that? Like, I had no clue. If I would say 36 years ago, there's no way in heck you could have told me that I would be who I am now. It was a lot of, trial and error and making a lot of mistakes and, and just becoming, I just kept going. How could I become someone that I could be proud of, or somebody that can really serve and learn more things and then serve? And it is what it is. But it's like, yeah, it's minimize the distance between you, the gap between you and what you want. And then it becomes, I have that already. Oh, I have a partner. That's the spirit of my business.
Yes.
I can do this. Right. So good
Feels
for
so
you.
much better.
Yeah, I think that, yeah, make it right sized, because you're here to do something on behalf of spirit. They picked you. Remember that. You were chosen. You were chosen. Anyway, thank you so much. I'm going to switch the camera over. And so wasn't that cool? I love that you guys volunteer. Now, if you didn't have a chance to pull your cards yet, do that today, and then with your worksheet, take a moment to reflect on your experience. I know we kind of pack it in all in one thing, but give yourself time today, if you have time, even before you go to bed, to do it. And it's so interesting to reflect on all the little details from the location of your dinner. Like, did your surroundings and the food served represent abundance, or did you notice any signs of scarcity around your date? That can be really important too. And what does that mean to you? It's a lot to chew on there, right? Pun intended. Now, so let's recap everything we covered today so it sticks, all right? So today we took your spirit of your business out to dinner. You wanted to listen to it and get a deeper understanding of your partnership. During your dinner, you actually looked at the quality of abundance or scarcity you witnessed through the food. That was the point of that. The decor, the overall experience. What do you make it mean? And we do this so that we understand the lens through which we're looking at our business and the potential for prosperity. And then we observed our level of commitment. Now, spending time with what all this could mean to you, you can take the next step forward, which automatically activates the success blueprint for the business. And you realize you're never alone. And then you have a partnership, and that the business itself can communicate with you, especially when we get stuck. This is when I do it. It's like, okay, I'm not in sync here somehow. Sometimes it just means I need to rest. And other times I'm like, I have to tune into the spirit of my business and go, okay, what do you need? And I'll get right. And then you take a different step. So this is a really cool way to make your success actually tangible. And you just do it a step at a time, small steps. Anyway, finally, the spirit of your business has shared a message with you in the form of 2 oracle cards. And I just want you to reflect on something that you need to consider. Now, if there are any doubts creeping up in your head, it's normal. You can get cold feet. And when facing reality, you might go into a fight or flight response saying you can't run your business on hope, wishful thinking, or blind faith. And nobody is saying you should. But as I said, we've been conditioned to respond only with our 5 senses and our intellect. And we leave out the most important resources, our connection to the universe. So we do want to add that in. Remember my story yesterday? I was telling you about how I was an addict and, all that stuff and never thought I could be successful. I rose above every difficult situation by surrendering to spirit and asking for help. And I allowed the universe to create opportunities that would open doors and experiences that we build on each other. And I was scared shitless half the time. I had to pray to have courage every day, and it was really challenging. It wasn't smooth sailing at all the time, and it still isn't. People look at my life, they think, oh, it's so easy. It is not, all right? But I commit to spirit every day as my primary partner, and it is magical because I live both hand. I live in the world, but I try to wear the world loosely around my shoulders. I'm an empath, like most of you in here. I suffer for the world, etc. I try to keep myself clear, and this isn't easy. Earth school sucks. But I have to say, what I learned how to do is believe before I saw, instead of believing only once I saw something. And it's through that energy that we're putting out through our beliefs and our conditioning and through our own consciousness that we broadcast just like a radio to the outer world. So I want you to consider how much we all need to be aware of the energy of our thoughts, our feelings, our beliefs and expectations around our businesses or our projects, creative projects. And we really need to be careful not to define ourselves by temporary outer conditions. It's not one size fits all. This is different for everybody. And even though, it's true in theory, we have to remember it's a different experience for everyone. Your path is unique. You have your own set of unique gifts and your own set of challenges. So working with certain universal laws and principles, you can become the person who has the true business success meant for you. So anyway, enough. In the next live session tomorrow at noon, I'm going to share how you can align with the laws of actualization and magnetism. You're going to love this one. And this goes well beyond the law of attraction. In fact, I think our next live session will be your very favorite. So I'm going to walk you through an imaginative and creative way to build the future you really want, at least to visit it. And it requires way less effort than you probably think. Just like I think it was Angela. Oh, I don't know if your name was Angela, but you know who I'm talking about. That amazing woman who said, it's easy. We're also going to give you some amazing tools that will help you on your journey, like the blueprint for your journey forward with the spirit of your business. And it's going to be such an incredible, powerful vision journey. Oh boy, you're going to love it. Now listen, I know sometimes that inner critic and procrastination goblin can set you off on an obstacle course. I know, because I've got one too. You can't do it. Oh my God. Who do you think you are? Please, I urge you not to let them get in the way of answering the reflection questions from today's video and joining me for our next session. Come do it with me. And I do want to hear from you how your dinner went, etc. So make sure you leave comments on the event dashboard. And if you have found that these sessions were valuable, I'd love for you to share this with your friends. Maybe you have somebody that would benefit from this. They still have time to catch up because we have till Saturday night, right? This kind of stuff is way more fun with friends, right? It's easier to get started on this journey when you have other people to hang out with and talk to, right? Anyway, thank you so much for being here. I am going to make my husband lunch. He is hovering and hungry right over here. Say hi. Come and show us. Say hi. He's so handsome.
Hello, how are you?
Hungry man. Anyway, I love sharing this with you, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Mwah. Love you guys. Take care.